everybody. This is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Today, I want to talk to you more about this digital ID bill. And the reason that I'm harping on this because I want y'all to understand how close we are to things changing. The things that I'm telling you about, they are ready to implement these things. They have legislation in states, local and municipal governments, as well as the federal government. Bills are pending, all ready to pass, ready to vote on and pass, or they've been proposed and tabled for the right time. So I just want you to understand that, the reason that I'm pressing upon you to be ready, continue preparing, figure life out, how you're going to do life, is because these things are imminent. Like we are, on the cusp of something happening big, and it's going to be the first time in history that we've had a one world government where everybody can be tracked at any time, and they've been able to keep people from participating in society in a way that, again, goes back to prophecy. So let's talk about this digital ID bill. So this comes from Congressman Bill Foster, 11th District of Illinois. It says U.S. Congressman reintroduce sweeping digital ID bill. This original notice came out July 12th, 2021. I found this when I was doing some research on the digital IDs. And so I just wanted to show you that this was implemented around the same time that they started giving us the lollipop in 2021. Notice the Cootie Bugs came out in 2020. The lollipop came out in 2021, and they're still peddling it. But a lot of things happened or have happened between then and now to get people comfortable with digital identities. So let's get into it. U.S. Congressmen reintroduce sweeping digital ID bill. A bipartisan group of U.S. congressmen have reintroduced a broad-ranging bill. Anytime they say broad-ranging, you should be running. It means they're going to make it up as they go. They can do whatever they want to do, and they already have an idea of what it is that they want to do, but they don't want to tell you because you will call your congressional representatives and raise hell. So they have reintroduced a broad-ranging bill to develop legislation around digital identity, according to the website of Congressman Bill Foster of Illinois, the introducing member. The Improving Digital Identity Act of 2021 will ask the House of Representatives to consider three main areas: the creation of a task force of federal, state, and local representatives to develop ways for government agencies to validate and protect individuals' identities and support interoperable tools for verification in both public and private settings. So this is my problem right here. So anytime they say interoperable tools, they mean it's going to be basically information sharing with any and everybody, national, local, state, and international. So you won't be able to travel out of the country without a digital ID. You won't be able to travel across state lines without a digital ID. The digital ID that you have in one state will be accepted in another state. They'll all be the same, and everybody can read anybody's stuff. So, we kind of have that now with our different law enforcement databases where, if they run your driver's license, they have access to all these different databases where they can check to see if you have active warrants. They can check to see where you live. They can check to see if you are on the most wanted list someplace. So we already have these things in place. It's not like we don't have them in place. They have Interpols. If you, leave the country, they share information about, who needs to be picked up, and they can make decisions about whether or not to, share information and cooperate to determine whether or not they're going to pick you up if you have a warrant or if you're wanted in a nation. So, it's not like they don't have these things. We have passports. Passports now are digital. You scan it, people know where you come from. All the information that you had to use to get the passport is in the barcode in the back of the passport. So it's not like they don't know, who we are, where you're going, because all that information is shared. Your itinerary is shared. So it's just, to me, just another step into knowing all of our business. And, they have not linked up all the pieces that they need, but they have enough pieces already where they don't need this. So I'm just concerned. And I'm also concerned about the private settings, because I understand if it's the government should be minding the government's business. But if I'm a private citizen, are you going to make me, and I'm an employer, or if I, do business with the government, or if I just do business in general, am I going to be prohibited from doing business if I don't use these tools that they require? And of course, they're going to make it real easy for you. Oh, you just get a scanny thing and attach it to your cell phone, and you have Wi-Fi, and yes, you can do business. How many people are going to do that just for the sake of, a dollar, and not think of the big picture? It's like we're all being marked. So this is my concern. May not be your concern, but it's my concern. It would call on the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, to create a new framework of standards to guide government agencies when providing digital identity verification services. The third area would establish a grant program with the Department of Homeland Security to allow states to upgrade the systems they use to issue driver's licenses and other forms of digital ID credential. So this is where every state will be required to do this unless they push back. Like, some states don't have an out. I'm not sure. I can't say. They don't have an opt out for the digital IDs, or they call it real ID, but the real ID has the barcode in the back and has the star on it, so people know if you're traveling, this is a real ID. You gave your grandmama's leg in order to get it and paid the fee for it, but you're basically tracked. So they want to incorporate driver's licenses and other credentials into this, and it will be under the auspices of the Department of Homeland Security, which is scary to me, because if you understand the power of the Homeland Security and you understand some of the things that they have in store for Black people, you would be frightened. You would be beyond afraid. So this is why I'm talking about it. The Congressman initially introduced Improving Digital Identity Act of 2020. Notice it was in 2020, the year the Cootie Bug came out. In September 2020, Foster announced his intention to bring up that bill at the 117th Congress at a February 2021 policy forum on digital ID, hosted by the Better Identity Coalition, the FIDO Alliance, and the ID Theft Resource Center, reports FCW. Foster discussed the genesis of the act and the state of U.S. digital ID in an ID 2020 webinar last year. The Better Identity Coalition is a supporter of the bill, and that's basically a lobbying group. When they say they're a supporter of the bill, it means somebody is getting a lick to talk about this, to bring it up, and it's all but so once the money starts exchanging hands. The Better Identity Coalition is a supporter of the bill, which responds to a May 2019 White House memo on improving identity management in the U.S., reports FCW. Now, remember, in 2019, y'all know who was president. So, for those of y'all who act like, oh, this side is better than the other side, both sides are the same. They flying on the same bird, different wings. One is overt, one is covert, but they both do the same thing. They are playing different roles in ushering in this beast system. Members of the identity industry have previously expressed support. So many services in banking, healthcare, government, and e-commerce depend on knowing who is on the other side of a transaction. Jeremy Grant, coordinator of the Better Identity Coalition, quoted on Foster's website. So this irks my nerves because we had paper money. Nobody asked for no debit card. We didn't ask for no credit cards. They told us, get this, this will make things better. We didn't ask for an EBT card. We was fine with paper food stamps coming in the mail on the whatever day they were supposed to come. We didn't need all these different things that they have introduced to us to usher in this beast system. They did it. And so, when we were using paper money and checks, there was no option to steal anything. We were in control of our identity. Unless somebody had to physically come in your house and steal your stuff, steal it out of your car, or steal it while you are outside walking around, or you drop it or lose it. You're in control of your identity. You're in control of your money. You're in control of every transaction. It's a personal transaction between you and the person you're transacting with. But them powers, those folks, gradually, weaned us off of being in control to relinquishing control and giving it to them. And so now here we are. We can't get control back because too many people are asleep. The rest of the people are cowards and won't fight back. And the majority of the people just don't read. So I just figure we might as well figure out how we're going to live outside of this system because it looks like the majority of people are going to go into it. But our old identity systems have not transitioned well to the digital world, creating friction in commerce, fueling increased fraud and theft. So this is where they're going to try to sell it to us as. So they always got to have a selling point. And so they're going to tell us that getting this digital ID will keep your stuff from being stolen and keep you from being a victim of fraud. When we all know if they can hack our emails, they hack our bank accounts, they steal the information from the debit cards and can use it in a different county or a different state. They add things to stores, that you do the transaction and then in another state your information is used. You have people on the inside who sell your stuff to other people, your bank account information. They'll sell your social security number. They'll sell your digital ID number when you get it. They'll sell a little barcode. So like nothing is foolproof, nothing at all. Hackers steal. So it's all just a bunch of BS. We've been living this for the last 15, 20 years. If you've been a victim of identity theft, had your money stolen, had your identity stolen, had people charge or buy things and put on your credit. I mean, we already know there is no foolproof way to prevent fraud and theft. If they create something, some criminal is going to create a way to circumvent it or subvert it. That's just how it goes. Same is going to happen with this system. It's not going to be foolproof. Somebody going to figure out a way to, get around it. Degrading privacy. Yeah, we don't have any privacy and they clearly don't want us to have any. And hindering the availability of many services online. I don't need nothing online. All online does is censor me and get me in trouble. So I'm actually looking forward to the internet going down and uh whatever this change is, I've got it in my spirit that I just won't be a part of whatever happens. So whatever good information y'all getting from me, you better get it before the internet goes down, because when it goes down and you got to have a digital ID to access it, I won't be accessing it. I don't care about it that much anymore. I'm already made peace with, I'm gonna have to find me a new way to survive, because it won't be online, it won't be using my computer, and I'm not getting a digital ID. I'm just not gonna do it. Um, Cell phone, don't care about that. We're gonna go back to the old days when we didn't have phones. You just be gone all day, and folks see you when they see you. Nobody knew where you were. Um, we're gonna have to go back to those mindsets and remember those times. And I know there's a generation of people who don't know anything about that. They don't know about not having a cell phone. They don't know about having technology. But we're gonna have to teach those people and help them understand why we can't just walk into this system. And I'm not saying that we can't, or we won't have to do some of these things, but they're in the beginning, they're going to sell it to you as something good and helpful, but in the end it's going to be an infringement of your privacy and rights, like they did during the 2020 event. If you didn't have that card or proof, or that QR code on your phone proving that you had been lollipopped, you couldn't go out to eat dinner. Well, if that's important to you, you're going to do it. You couldn't go to certain exclusive things because you didn't um, get lollipopped, or you don't have proof that you have been. You can't, you could travel to another state that has totally different laws and rules about the lollipop, and your state could be like, you get it or you don't. It's cool with us. You don't have to wear a mask, or you wear a mask. It's cool with us. But you go to another state and they're like, if you don't do this, you're outcasts. You can't participate in society. That's where we're going. So you're gonna have to, really think about this stuff and figure life out before this time comes, because it is coming. And I'm not saying, again, that we're not going to have to participate in a lot of this stuff, because, when it comes to the banking system, if our dollar is no good and they're not taking um, paper money, what do you do? How do you pay your bills? So, there are some things that we are probably going to have to opt into. Your mortgage company may require you to have a digital ID in order to accept your mortgage payment. You get a digital ID and participate in the CBDC in order to do that? Like, or do you take your money out now and buy you something and pay cash for it and hobo the property taxes every year? You still have to participate in the CBDC, but maybe you don't have to pay. You don't have to do all the other things. I don't know what that looks like. But the other video that I did regarding the prophecy again video dives into that a little bit. So it gives you some things to think about. So if you can look at that video about the digital ID that I did, and I'll put it at the end of this video, it's really helpful. But again, I can't tell anyone what to do personally, because we all got different decisions to make. But if you can get out of debt, downsize, minimize the amount of time and energy you're going to have to spend navigating this system. And I'm not saying life is going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be uncomfortable, because we've been conditioned in America to believe that comfort is the end all to be all. But even in the Bible, it tells you you're not going to be comfortable all the time. You're not going to be happy all the time. The Messiah wasn't happy when he knew he had to, give up his life for us. if he can do it, we can make this sacrifice. If he can sacrifice for us, we can sacrifice and be a little uncomfortable for the Most High in order to avoid taking the mark. And you don't want the mark, because what comes after you get into all this is that eco Sabbath. And it's going to be tied to your phone. It's going to be tied to your bank account. It's going to be tied to your identity. They will know if you worship on Saturday. They will know if you worship on Sunday. They will know if you keep the Sabbath. They will know if you keep the Lord's Day or the Eco Sabbath, the new one that Rome is creating. So all this is leading to that. So, these are steps. The infrastructure is gradual, slow, but it's coming. And it's already in place. So I'm just letting you know, you don't have much time to figure life out. All right, this is Marley K. I will put a link to this this announcement in the description, along with a few other digital ID links so that you can become acclimated with what's coming, and gather yourselves. Continue to pray, repent, seek the Most High, cry out, because again, the noose is around our neck. We are about to be lynched. And it's a different type of lynching. And it ain't just going to be black folks this time. The folks who never stopped the lynching of us about to get the same lynching that they have stood by and watched for centuries. They've ignored our suffering. And so part of the judgment for especially Americans in Europe is that they're getting ready to give what they've dished out. And it's going to be very uncomfortable for them in particular. So that is why it's important for Yasharel, true Israel, to come out of her, because it's better to be uncomfortable now than have to do it later. Focus on being uncomfortable, because this is an uncomfortable season. And I just believe that in my spirit, we are being conditioned to be uncomfortable. Those of us who are chosen, those of us who can see, those of us who have our eyes open and are awakened to who we are. So we got to get it right, y'all. Continue to pray, repent, seek the Most High. Try to wake people up. Pray for your brothers and sisters that no one perish, because the Most High does not want any of us to perish. Not necessarily perish. I shouldn't say perish. We all gonna die because we're flesh. But He does not want us to receive the eternal damnation for refusing His mark instead of the beast's mark. So with that said, y'all, please like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to my Rumble channel in the event that this channel is taken down. And if all the channels are taken down, I won't be coming back because it's just too much work. We've been doing this for years now, so it's about time to give up the ghost. When it's time to give up the ghost, we got to give up the ghost. Got to make some sacrifices. All right, this is Marley K. Y'all have a good one, and I am